Hello there, I'm a shrimp, and today I am building a beautiful abandoned factory turned into a bakery, or attempted to be. It might not be going so well, but you'll see. They're trying, they're really trying, but this building is fighting back. This building does not want to be revitalized, sanitized, inhabitable, you know. But right, so for the longest time, I've had an idea that I wanted to do with business and hobbies. Like, I wanted to do like a... This isn't entirely 100% to the original idea, like, because I pictured it more like multiple. I think that this might have been before it came out, before we knew we couldn't use it with rental units, because really the idea in my head in its original form was like multiple rental units and a business, and like a really multi functional lot, which I could make shell wise, a custom venue maybe, but then future ideas, more things to come. So it's a small business venue, a little residential small business. It's a bakery in a factory. The lower floor is obviously very, very factory. It has all of the it has a little cafe sitting area. There's the main little bakery coffee stand area. There is a side room that has been transformed, shall we say, into a baking classroom, for better or for worse, because man, do those Sims not want to use the counter that you think they're going to use. But they do bake, so we like that they participate. There is a staff baking room, make all of the delicious goodies room, a staff room, an outdoor area with a few fun factory features and, well, all the bins and stuff, the practical stuff. There is, of course, a nice little public toilet that is not at all in a questionable state. And then the upper floor is the nice little residential beautiful industrial factory apartment that is definitely not one part I like to imagine. You'll see like when we get there, but I like to imagine the upper floor has been attempted to be lived in before. Like the sim that's making the bakery is not the first one, so some of the stuff like the basic layout of the kitchen and the bathroom and stuff is all there. But the Sims like cobbling together furniture of whatever they can. There's good old pallet coffee tables, that sort of thing. If I wasn't trying to kind of limit packs, I feel like the breakup bed from, was it actually from Lovestruck, or was it like the silly free things if you buy it before this date for Lovestruck pack? But yeah, that very disheveled bed I feel like would really work here. But there's a lot of the werewolf stuff. For the most part, I've just filtered build and buy by shabby and industrial styles, and occasionally branched out when I was like, I know there's an item I want to use that apparently doesn't fall into these. But it's quite nice. I feel like it really balances having an industrial remodeled charm whilst also being an absolute genuinely toxic mold mess. Just a little bit. So when I say that the sim that's trying to fulfill their dreams, make their nice little bakery, they thought they hit the jackpot. They found this nice abandoned factory for a decent price, a little bit of a dream steal, a bargain if you will. But it's a bit like in the horror movies when the nice family buys the amazing house for such a great price. Only instead of ghosts, although hey, if you wanted to add in, go for it. But instead of ghosts, we have creepy collies. Creepy collies? Yes, there are creepy cauliflowers marching around in the shadows. Watch out. No, all of the lot challenges. Creepy crawlies? It's cursed, just a little bit. Filthy. No, it's growth. Is it filthy or no? Are they two separate ones? Sorry, I've used so many. I'm like, the Gremlins one, the whatchamacallit. Sorry, there's like 7 of them on this, and if you look this up in the gallery, my ID is Shrimp2. you'll be able to see them all for certain, and you'll know without any questionable shrimp memory. But yeah, the bugs, the filth, the mold, the creepy crawlies, things break, things are unclean, things are a bit yikes here. Also, I forgot, it's been a while since I've used the mold lot challenge. It's been a hot minute, and I forgot how quickly that stuff spreads, but maybe that is, I mean, to be fair, I'm sure there's the stacking effect of having the, you know, grody, filthy lot challenge as well, but yeah. So it's one part. The building is fighting back, and then also, as much as someone's tried to live here before, you know, kitted out a bit of a kitchen, there's a, you know, and it's not entirely remodel as a home from scratch, but it's not in good shape. Nobody's actually cleared out all of the rubble and, like, left behind factory stuff. There's random, you know, broken mirrors and piles of rubble. There's so many pipes and stuff that... Do we know if they're still connected to anything? Do we know if they're holding up the structure of the walls? Nobody knows, so we're not touching them. There is also... My favorite thing is, you'll see, I think towards the end, I do put one of the, like, piles of canvas paintings that lean against the wall, and it's up to you whether this factory used to be a warehouse for paintings and these were left behind, or if the sim that lives here, you know, bought them and moved them in. But either way, they may or may not be trying to distract from the state of the walls, you know, just trying to cover it up at every level. I did have a lot of fun with a lot of the basement stuff, you know, the wonky lamp, various shabby boxes and bookcases and wonderful things, because I wanted to feel a bit of a mixture of, like, this sim, you know, they're cutting it fine, they're trying to pursue their dream, but, you know, it's in the rough part before the dream pays back for itself, you know. So, you know, trying to make what they can with what they have, hence the werewolf desk that's just a door on some, what is it even, is it on, like, wooden blocks, is it on, whatever, it's a door balanced on whatever, and, you know, the nice, sofa that is cobbled together from construction stuff, which, hey, you know, I like to believe the sim used some of the various factory rubble, so, you know, it was, you know, practically a gift from their new home. But yeah, so it's meant to feel like it's still in an in-between state where you can see the obvious factoriness, and some of it is just part of the charm that will stay, and some of it you can see where, like, they've modernized this bit, but they haven't modernized this bit, and it's a work in progress. As is forever mopping in that bathroom. Seriously, I opened the bakery, you know, test run. Speaking of test run, because I will forget, it works, like, everything's fine. There's just one little change I had to make. So because it's a factory, I of course felt the need to use the cupcake factory machines. I was originally just going to do a lot of cookers and counters and stuff, but considering the baking classroom plus the staff area plus the living areas, kitchen stuff, I think the Sims feel a bit overwhelmed by how many options they have, because there's definitely some, like, why are you going to that one instead of this one? Sinks, you know, cookers might be having sink energy. But what was I saying? So cupcake factory, because factory. And I have two, and there's one that's properly into the wall, and there's one that was on the same wall as the door leading into the room. I don't actually know exactly what its problem is. I don't know if it's the light above it. I don't know if it's in a weird angle with the factory machine, cupcake factory machine that's closer to the outer wall. I don't know. But I had to get rid of the cabinets, the counters in the little corner area in between the two cupcake factories, and just rotate it around and put it in line with the one towards the outer wall. So, like, they're both still there. Just had to mix things up a little bit. So that's like I think that is literally the one major difference between what you will see by the end of this video and what is actually in the upload. I know, shocking. Such a big change. I bet I could have said nothing and no one would have ever noticed. What was I saying before I started with that? changes in the Cupcake Factory and the... Oh yeah, I know, playtesting and opening the place. Yeah, customers, like, yeah, they came, they bought stuff, they ate stuff. They didn't seem to be interested with coffee, but, like, it worked. My sim could tend the coffee bar, so I don't know, maybe they just weren't feeling coffee. But they kept trying to mop up in the bathroom. It was quite funny, really. I enjoy the chaos. This is not the only chaos, though. So, in addition to being a challenging building, there may be some residents that were already here in the abandoned factory. And no, not mice. Think bigger. There may have been a couple of raccoons that called this home, and they don't have any intentions of changing that. So you may hear the beautiful screeches of raccoons while you are enjoying your delicious cupcake and cup of coffee here. If you're a fan of Raccoon Chaos, I have such a treat for you in the screenshots at the end of the video. Multiple treats, if you will. So, you know, just I get a good little chuckle looking at them, so I hope you will too. Because, right, to go back to the original idea of this build concept, because I was picturing, like, a business, a unit with a sim, and then a unit that just had raccoons in it. And I'm gonna make, like, an actual just rental unit, I think, with this vibe. It just has a lot of raccoons running around it and a bunch of horrendous units. I kind of wish there was an option to let the all the different decor that's for making things look worse to actually have that impact on your sims. Like, don't be thinking, oh wow, this place is really well decorated because there's like 10 things on the wall. No, acknowledge that the 10 things on the wall are horrible, questionable damp patches and scratches and holes and whatever. Like, you know how items have the option to enable their emotional aura? Like, could we have like a system like that that's on the different like puddles and wall scratches and holes that's like toggles it between positive or negative environment? I realize that could be asking a lot, but I'm a bold optimist. Sometimes. Oh yeah, I did the little grid like rug by the wall. I thought that was nice, like if it implied that the factory had a whole like wall that was just lined with grating. And they kept like some of it to keep with the nice industrial charm. I also like obviously I mentioned like I've used basement stuff. I've used some of the, is it the industrial loft? Some industrial theme kit. I've used stuff from like several kits that I like never actually use. So this is a nice little boom stuff and things. And yes, I'm having a lot of fun with all of the piles of rubble, okay? And there's the nice bonfire that's, you know, just that's the process of them getting rid of everything. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't know if this lot it was slightly uneven, but considering I bulldozed it and it had something already built on it, I'm a bit like, what? But there was a bit where the grass was glitching through the floor out there, and I was like, okay, flatten lot. It was just an interesting moment, okay? It was a little, like, game, you okay there? For the record, I'm named, because I'm so creative, my Sims bakery business is called Baked Dreams. And I like to think that whenever she excitedly tells people about her bakery business, she, you know, I'm saying she because I've moved in a tester, but, you know, whatever sim that you might move in here may or may not steal the name of the business. You have my Sim's permission, but I like to think that they, like, tell people, like, oh yeah, my bakery, it's called Baked Dreams, and then they say, I'm made of these. Maybe with cheese, maybe with whatever ingredient they are vibing with this day. Maybe all the staff have a little song like, baked dreams are made of donuts. Baked dreams are made of vanilla cupcakes, you know, depending on whatever they're making. Baked beans. Baked dreams are made of jelly beans. I was thinking jelly beans and baked, and listen, I'm sorry, but apparently Heinz have a close hold on my brain. Oh yeah, I put some cracks and stuff in the windows. Like, I wanted this to look a little bit precarious. I'm quite proud with how it's turned out. It was a little bit awkward, actually, especially the Sims bathroom, but some of them were a bit awkward to actually click on to get the room for assigning them their zone for the residential, the small business, like, you know, if they were public or employee only or residential. Some of them was a bit like, am I going to be able to click on this room? I also like the, like, as you may notice, the bathroom sink is outside the bathroom. I thought that was a nice little, like, they didn't really have room in the room and they couldn't extend the wall, and there was just probably already plumbing there for, like, a little industrial sink. So they were like, okay, this works, sink here. I was originally, like, my sim got off pretty lucky, actually, because I was originally going to just give a shower in a little tiny room and make them have to go back downstairs to the little cafe toilet. I decided to be a little bit nicer than that. I decided that, you know what, either A, someone else has tried to make here inhabitable before, and there's enough that, you know, my sim can have what they need upstairs, or, you know, my sim has priorities and, you know, committed. They didn't clean up anything, they didn't get rid of rubble, aside from, you know, headcanon that there used to be a lot of rubble in the cafe area that they obviously cleared, but, you know, living quarters wise, they were like, no, I just have to get a functional bathroom and then everything else can wait. Because, I mean, they literally have a bunch of rubble right at their entranceway. Hang up their coat, say hi to the rubble, walk into their beautiful apartment. It's all good. It's all good. It's been a very long time since I built something that was less than ideal condition, though. So it was nice to go through all the different destructive decor. Also, I acknowledge those holes might not be so suitable on a brick wall, but in my headcanon, it's just a little light brick wall before a full cement wall, and, you know, bricks have been broken, bricks have been shattered. I used some of the, like, werewolf, like, punch shatter mark ones, you know. I'm thinking some, either very angry people or some big heavy equipment has bonked those walls enough that anything is possible. Yes. There's the beautiful, colorful art trying to hide the horror of the walls, but also the foreshadowing of the raccoons in some of that artwork. You might even say the raccoons are not the only fun nighttime or not so nighttime limited mystery. Again, the screenshots. It may be raccoon-ish. The screenshots will be soon, but you know, you get points if you guess completely what you're going to see in the screenshots before you're there. I liked the idea of making a little boxed in area for, like, what I consider, like, the household bins, and then the big dumpster can be, like, the business bin. And I did make it so, like, it's household only to go up there. Keep it all separate for no reason other than I could. And then there's a tiny little landscaping bit, because I like to think it's maybe one part, like, overgrown flowers and stuff have just been tidied up a bit. Like, it's not fully landscaped, it's just sort of an attempt has been made. It's a work in progress, but things are still a bit overgrown, a bit chaotic, but, you know, in a sort of vaguely organized chaos way. It's not horrible. Some might even say it's nice. I never use those flowers, so I was like, this is a vibe. It's something different. And I even remembered to make the outside of the building look a little bit yikes. Because, you know, if the inside's that bad, the outside can't be too good, can it? And then I debated putting more stuff out front, but I was like, no, we don't need it. So, this is literally just called Busted Bakery, because it is a busted up bakery. And I mean, if you want to headcanon any busted fandom, go ahead. But it's a very grey, a very brown, in a cozy industrial way. That's a little bit sad and cold because it is a giant factory, but it is also charming industrial, okay? Until you get to the grime and the puddles and the questionable plumbing and the creepy crawlies that still haven't actually attacked anyone yet, and that makes me a bit nervous. And the gremlins. And then the raccoons, which are also kind of gremlins. Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But it was fun. I'm looking forward to building the little residential units. One, because they're going to be smaller. Oh, look, it's a raccoon stealing a cupcake. Oh, look, it's a raccoon singing the song of its people. Oh, look, it's a raccoon harassing the customers. Oh, look, it's a raccoon-ish. But yeah, I look forward to building more decrepit little units of smallerness. Thank you for watching. Feel free to check out both more of my videos on my channel, my Sims gallery. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!